Bible Expositor Seminary is the teaching arm of Revival Aurora Ministries. Currently, we are only opening this program up to the 10 pastors that are there in Cagayan de Oro and Bukidnon. Our curriculum is made up of lectures which are available for free in the United States. For example, our systematic theology classes, Systematic Theology 1, 2, and 3, is composed of Wayne Grudem's lectures. We also have lectures from men like John Frame. John Frame does our Christian apologetics class. He also does philosophy and Christian thought class. So these lectures, which are readily available on the internet for free, we simply took those lectures, went through the lectures, took notes, and developed our curriculums based upon those lectures. After overcoming the obstacle of curriculum and lectures, we were faced with another problem. How are we going to provide a library for 10 men? The problem was, if you have 10 students and they're all on the same lecture, each man will need a book, so that means you'd have to buy 10 books. Even if you could buy 10 books, you couldn't afford to ship them there. These resources simply are not available in the Philippines. So buying the books in the United States, let's say you bought $300 worth of books, it would cost you $700, $800 to ship them there. So from a monetary standpoint, that wasn't feasible. It was at that time that the Lord provided us with the idea to look for electronic resources. As God would have it, there are numerous electronic resources on the web that are no longer copyrighted. So you can find great Christian literature in PDF format. So we downloaded almost 2 gigs of these resources, and we put them on an SD card. We also were able, for about $70 each, to buy each pastor a tablet computer. So each pastor gets a tablet computer and an SD card with his virtual library. The SD card contains some of the greatest Christian literature in the English language. For example, there's the writings of Anselm. There's the writings of Augustine. There is Calvin's Institutes of Religion. We have commentaries on there. There are the complete works of Jonathan Edwards, John Owen, Stephen Charnock, David Brainerd, so many others. In fact, these men have an electronic library that rivals probably what most pastors have in their home. It's certainly better than the library I had when I was in seminary. I'm convinced that the rating program alone, when they complete the lectures and when they complete the rating program, their Master's of Divinity degree will be of a deeper level than what I received in my Master's of Divinity degree here in the United States. Originally, everything was set up in such a way that I could stay in the United States and could facilitate the administrative side of the seminary. Currently, we have a person in place there in Cagayan de Oro who will act as the point of contact. All the examination papers will go to that person. They will do some of the grading assignments. They will scan the papers, email them to me, and I will do the grading of the research assignments. But while I was there, I realized there's a great need for mentoring and for hands-on training in the Philippines. One of the issues that came up was, who's going to answer our questions? Pastor Barry, are you going to be available to us to answer our questions? And I said, certainly, I'll be available by email. But of course, not all of these men have email. Not all of these men have access to email. And that's going to slow down their training. I've listened to every lecture. I'm the one that developed the examinations, that has developed the curriculum. I've read all the reading assignments that they've been given. So I am uniquely qualified to answer their questions. By being there, I can facilitate the class itself. I can answer their questions. I can facilitate discussion. I can also participate in hands-on training with them. While I was there, I had a lot of people asking me, you know, Brother Barry, will you mentor us? Will you mentor us in the area of prayer? Will you mentor us in evangelism? Will you mentor us in street preaching? And I realized, you know, I can't do that from here. I could be more effective there. Our goal is to be able to relocate there in spring 2013, March or April. So all our efforts will be going in that direction, to be able to leave the U.S. and relocate there in Cagayan de Oro, March or April. While we're there, we're going to have a threefold purpose. My primary duty will be to these 10 pastors. That will be hands-on training with them, going through the seminary with them, being available to discuss, answer questions with them. Also, any mentoring, any modeling that needs to be done. These men are fantastic men. They're hungry for the Word. They're hungry for truth. They're hungry for correct theology and correct methodology, and they're looking for someone that can give them that. Our second area of focus will be Christ Bible Church. Christ Bible Church is a church plant of Christ Disciple Missions Philippines. Elders are Ben and Pastor Val. We will play a supportive role under those two elders. That role will include teaching. That role will include preaching, modeling for the congregation, and going to be especially active with them in evangelism. Basically, I'll come alongside them and be another set of hands, another set of feet, just to be a supportive role. The idea being that once Christ Bible Church is up and able to support itself, I will then connect myself to another church plant and begin to assist those pastors, perhaps in Bukidnon or in Cagayan de Oro, in the work that they're doing. Our third area of focus while we're there will be what I'm going to call a self-support development program. Missions, the problem is always money. And when you're pastoring in a third world country, and just like here, you don't make enough money to feed your family, you don't make enough money to pay your children's school bills, the pressure is on you. Bivocational work is available for some, but when you talk bivocational work, it's usually 40 to 60 hours a week with very little pay. For example, one of the pastors was working on a cattle farm, working 6 days a week, around 56 hours a week, and bringing home about $100 a month. So when he's 50, 60 hours a week on the cattle farm, there's absolutely no way he can be effective as a church planter or as a pastor. So we're developing ways that they can be self-supporting. One of the ideas that we have that we'll coordinate from our mission is what we're going to call a seed fund. This seed fund will basically be a short-term loan. The seed fund can be used to purchase livestock, for example, a pig or 2 goats or rice seed. The pastor's family will then take that animal, or they will also take that seed. They will grow the food or raise the animal. When they're finished, they will sell the animal, return the money that they borrowed back to the seed fund, and they will keep the profit. And they will be able to borrow from the seed fund as many times as necessary until they get to a point where they are beginning now to have their own seed or have their own livestock reproducing. If we just give them money, which is definitely needed, all we're doing is putting a Band-Aid on a long-term problem. We will just continue to throw money at it and throw money at it, and then when we pull out, they'll be in no better place than they were before. So the idea is to provide them with a way that they can be self-supporting. Pleasant Hill Baptist Church in Olinda, Tennessee, and its pastor, Chad Beck, will be functioning as our sending church and will be giving financial oversight to this ministry. Support will be tax deductible. Just please be ensured that on the for section or in the notes section that you include my name. This ministry is so deeply indebted to those who have stood beside us through the years. What began as an evangelistic outreach locally has now grown into an international mission society with a seminary. and that would not have been possible without the support and help and prayers of our friends. And I just can't say thank you enough for your kindness and generosity, for your ability to look beyond the meager means, the meager messenger, and see a greater vision. Thank you so much for your help and support. And I pray that you'll continue to stand with us as we move forward now, going towards the Philippines.